Buttons. Right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Louis B. Free Radio Show, Brain Food from the Heartland, Nourishing the Soul in Play. I'm thrilled to have four wonderful guests on with me. Good morning, and if you would individually, obviously, introduce yourselves. Oof.
I'm Cassie. I'm a senior at Christopher Newport University.
Hi, I'm Phoebe. I'm a sophomore at CNU.
And I'm Kat, a junior at CNU.
And I'm Mace. I'm also a junior at CNU.
Excellent. A couple of minutes about each one of you, if you would, about what do I say, hopes and dreams, what you're studying, what direction are you going in?
So I'm a history major graduating in May, and I also have a minor in museum studies. And I'm hoping to work somewhere in public history, in a museum, probably in collections or archives.
Wow, that's a dear friend of mine. Is his son is doing archives in New York City. Yeah, and he loves it. So and he's young. He's not old. He's in his 20s. Who's next?
I'm an anthropology major with minors in museum studies and women's studies. And my dream is to be a curator in a historic house museum.
Oh, wow. I mean, I could individually talk with you all more about that, how you got that way, but we've got something else to talk about. Go ahead.
And I am also a history major with minors in leadership and museum studies, and I'm aiming to be either park ranger or some sort of curator at a natural history museum.
Oh, that's wonderful. Mace, go ahead.
All right, so I am actually a biology and environmental science major, and I am an intern at the Virginia Living Museum in their herpetology department.
Wow, I'm blown away by all four of you. So let's talk a little bit about the project. Anybody, just jump in. I don't want, you're in class a lot. I don't want to have to call on people. You know, I just feel it's like, I don't know. Go ahead.
We should probably start as the project managers. So I'm Mace. I'm one of the two project managers. Cassie is the other one. And we began this project in fall of last year. So while the other two were taking their first museum studies course, we were preparing the items for the exhibition. So our job was to kind of get the items together, figure out maybe what the theme would be for the exhibition, and be the driving force that kept them on track this year.
The idea, where did it come from, this particular project? Nourishing the Soul.
Definitely Dr. Salomon. He was the one who was the mastermind behind this whole thing. We just helped get some optics.
He's my bro. I know him. I love him. So, and then just you two started to run with it from there, or?
Absolutely, we did.
Tell us a little bit about the project.
So Phoebe and I were in the class. Phoebe took the intro class last year and I took it this past semester. So we came in with a basis on the methods and theories behind curating. And then this semester was kind of our experience, our hands-on kind of try it and see what you think about, curating or developing assessment material, working in PR. So
the objective with the project is to obviously get a good grade. You graded in this, correct?
Yeah.
I've got a little influence there. No, okay, just kidding. Tell me a little bit about that, about the objective with the project.
Yeah, I think the main objective was just for everyone to learn what it would be like to curate an exhibit and all of the background information and research that has to go with that.
What was the research like?
So it was very specific to each person. We each picked a lot about January that made up a couple of items. And from there, we did research on our specific items, just basically trying to find as much information as we could about it. For example, my lot was educational toys. So I had like a desk, I had some blocks, an old clock. So I was just trying to find as much information on those items and then kind of talk about the significance of those items.
Next, your area. Who wants to go?
So I had a collection of Jewish ritual items. So I had about 5 old hymnals. Well, they're not hymnals in Judaism.
I love that though. That's great.
Old songbooks, prayer books, and then I also had 3 religious items, one of which actually belonged to Dr. Solomon. So it was very.
What objects? What other objects?
So one is a tefillin, which is a phyllokite wrap that goes up and down the arms. It's a prayer ritual that goes on in the mornings. And so it's only practiced by men, which is kind of a controversial thing in Judaism. So that was kind of my focus of my longer essay, was talking about how the actual practice of, wrapping the tefillin is kind of changing throughout the ages.
Anything else? Want to mention one more object?
I just had a mezuzah, which is in Hebrew, that means doorpost, which is a prayer scroll that goes on each door in the household.
Okay, all right. And
Well, Cassie and Mace didn't have lots since they were the project managers. So, but some other things in the exhibit, we had some teddy bears, we had some religious statues,
A Ouija board.
a Ouija board. Yeah, a Ouija board. How is it with a Ouija board?
It would be great if it wasn't next to the last rites kit.
Yes.
Sort of, if you use the Ouija board, you better have the last rites.
Yeah, I'm terrified of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was in the workroom one day by myself and stuff started moving, but no one believes me. So
I believe you.
The library is haunted.
I believe you. Seriously. I mean, seriously, I believe you. I was asked by a doctor not so long ago who said, "Louis, do you hallucinate?" And my response was, "How would I know?" Do you see things? Do you see things that other people don't see? I said, that doesn't mean they're not real. That other people don't see it. Maybe they have a deficiency somewhere. Sorry, I'll go on and on. I also had a very strange experience with the Ouija board. Oh, probably almost 40 years ago. It was very accurate on some things, and then a very bad message. And I remember, again, I was, well, old to you, lady, but young for me. And I remember taking it out in the backyard and burning it. Yeah, it freaked me out. It freaked a couple of people out. So putting it together, project managers, how do you put it together then?
So once everyone had their individual lots and everything, it was already separated into religious objects and toys. So we just kept moving along. Everyone was doing their research and creating shelf labels for their items. And then eventually the installation team helped, and we started putting everything into these display cases and making sure everything looked good and so on.
What kind of reaction did you get from it?
Exceedingly positive.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Go ahead, Mace. Tell us, or go ahead.
There, just with comments that people were able to leave about what they thought about our exhibit and stuff, and we got a lot of positive comments.
That's wonderful. I dare ask, did you get negative comments?
The only negative comment we got was someone said a board was crooked, which
Oh
was
God.
crooked on purpose. So.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was a bit reluctant to ask, but I don't understand the need to say something negative. And especially if it was inaccurate, because that's the way it was supposed to be. I shouldn't say with you. That speaks a lot to the person that felt the need to do that. Just don't get that these days. So, okay, but good comments.
Yes.
People were inspired. What I know a number of comments, but
we got a lot of comments talking about the good old days, which was very funny. But a lot of people talked about how the toy side kind of invoked that childhood sense of, you know, not needing a computer screen, of being able to play with others. And the ritual side kind of invoked more of a rigid practice of kind of, I was raised this way. I learned how to practice, you know, Judaism or Christianity, and that's kind of been the foundation of their life.
And that had to be inspiring for you,
Mhm.
where you get that type of response. Have you been graded in this yet?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
not really.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Grades.
Yeah.
Grades. Yeah. Not yet.
For them too, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea what my grade will be yet. Not a clue.
I think you do.
Well, we as project managers haven't
No.
done the exact same things as everyone else because we were already a part of last year's curated exhibition. So we're doing like a totally different thing than they are. We really have no idea.
And we have a paper that's due next week that I think will be a decent portion of our grade. And I haven't done that yet, so.
Cassie.
But it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Doing something, a project like this, and presenting it, I would imagine there's something, if you're turning in a term paper or something and it's you get the grade. This is out there for people to see and some sadly critique. Yet that's what does that feel like? You know, I'm always interested when I talk with an author, when I speak with an author, and I ask, what is it like when you turn over the final manuscript, when it's out of your hands now? It's out, you know, it's got to get published and for the public to see, to read. What is that like? What was that like when it opened? And am I making any sense at all?
Yeah, no,
It's
you are.
really exciting. It was kind of like a delayed opening in the sense of that, like, this was all available for people to see throughout the whole process. There's no doors shutting this off, so people were able to see us load in the pieces, start putting up the shelf labels, so anybody walking in this area could really see the process. But it was still exciting last Friday when we officially opened the exhibit and we watched people come through and, you know, read our stuff and leave us comments. You know, we worked on it all semester, so it was really, you know, it felt good to see our hard work come together.
I'll bet when you watching people, you're able to obviously watch and see their expressions and see their awe, if you will, when they see that, and see which ones they're looking at like really closely or which ones they're really interested in. That's got to be fascinating.
Yeah.
Project, and go ahead. No, please.
It was definitely like a my baby moment. Like, this was my child, because this was a big part of my semester, was solely focusing on the exhibit and working on getting it open. So it really was one of like the best days, I think, this past semester.
Are you able to show us and again, listeners, I know I'm going to get the emails, but do you mind, can you show us an object or two, kind of bring it?
Yeah, I have my phone. If you could let it into the Zoom call.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
My phone, like if you could accept the phone call so I can show you.
On the Zoom. See,
Yeah.
again, I'm very low. Oh, cool. Oh, I hope I hit the right button.
Yep, you did.
Recording in progress.
It's probably me. Oh, cool. Oh, this is great. Look how high tech how high tech you all are.
So she'll walk with you through the
Oh,
exhibit.
cool. Yeah, this is great.
Can you just flip the camera around?
I want to say good morning to Vera, Rita, and my friend Jack at the shop around the corner. Thank you all. Sorry for joining us. So we're gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Here we have some toys. It's the old Tinker toys. And if you look up right above the stuffed animal, that's Frederick. He is,
Our class mascot.
yes.
Oh, that's Frederick, the class. Oh,
Mascot,
look how
yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm
mix.
sorry, listeners. I'm sorry, listeners. There'll be a YouTube video up shortly after the show. So you'll be able to see Frederick if you.
What museum is he from?
The meter.
The Muter Museum in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry, one more time.
it was the Muter Museum in Philadelphia that the stuffed animal is from.
Oh,
It's because they have a colon there that's 8 feet long, I'm pretty sure, from a man that died years ago. So they have merch of it. Yeah, we made it's kind of just a class joke for everyone. And yeah. Teddy bears.
So
Yeah.
here's some old
very
teddy
cool.
bears.
Oh, look at the bears. Sorry,
And
very
then
childlike sometimes. Too. Look, a purple bear too. And where did these come from?
all of these items came from either antique shops, eBay, auctions, just
Estate sales,
yeah.
my closet.
Yeah.
Anywhere you can think of, basically.
Wow, those are very cool. I'm gonna.
So that's just a little peek at the play side. And here's some of the items on
Oh, there's the Ouija board.
Yep.
Oh, that's an awfully cool with the black background. Yeah, I do like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. There's the Ouija board, listeners. Sorry. If one of you can send maybe pictures later to me that I can post of some of the items. Go ahead. And now we're looking at.
It's an African carved figure. So it's
And
an
came.
old ancestral African figure.
Wow. Very cool. This is very cool.
Now that's in
Those are some Egyptian items.
Orthodox.
Very cool. Oh, I see the ankh. Yeah, I used to wear one of those. I was gonna say in my hippie days. I guess I'm still in those days. Except now it's with a Z.
That's the Japanese.
Yeah, that's a Japanese tea set.
Oh, it's beautiful. Where did that still like
That's actually
That's
from
somebody?
my family owns that. So
that's
that's straight from
beautiful.
us.
That's beautiful. Now I want tea. Oh, go ahead.
That's Native American dream catcher. There's a few other Native American items too.
Oh, how cool. And then you've got descriptions up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for every object we have a shelf label. And there's also QR codes on each shelf label that takes the person who scans it to a longer essay about the broader history and significance of the object
Yeah.
or objects.
I'm still concerned about the QR codes. I'm an old paranoid. So, it's just I don't have location services on my phone. I don't do it. Oh, can you show a couple of Jewish items before you're done? I'm sorry.
The Jewish items?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that
Oh, wow. Oh, listeners, I'm sorry. I'm going to get pictures and I will post them up later. Plus, it'll be in the YouTube video. What can you tell us?
So yeah, those were the objects that Kat was mentioning earlier. So that is the lot that she curated with all the objects she was describing before.
I see the mezuzah. Oh, that's very cool. I'm sorry. I should be speaking instead of awing in awe of looking at the display. It's terrible radio. No, no dead air. Can't do that. Wow, that's anything else you want to show us?
I want to show the horse. So one of our students, Nicole, actually did conservation throughout this semester. So she had this horse tricycle that she did some restoring on the ear, and she did touch up some paint. So that was a big project that she undertook this semester.
How old is that? Any?
About 50, 60 years.
About 50 or 60 years old.
Wow. I am in my 70th year. I never saw one of those. Wow, that's very cool. That's very cool. Like yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Toys.
Oh yeah, that's the lot that I curated. So you can see the blocks there at the bottom.
Yeah.
There's a old handy Andy tool set to the right there.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. Did you get some comments from older folks that saw the toys and loved that?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, my grandparents did come to this exhibit, and it was funny because every couple of minutes they would turn to me and be like, "You could have gotten that out of our basement." And I was like, "We could have, for sure."
That's great, though. Wow, that's great. What did your grandparents say about the exhibit?
My grandparents, they thought it was really unique. This is actually the first exhibit that I've been a part of that they attended, and they were just kind of curious about the project at large. They, like you, have an aversion to the little QR codes and things like that.
Yeah.
So all we got was the shelf labels. But it was kind of nice because it did give the people who were currently on the exhibit a chance to talk about what they were working on. And that was great to see. It was a very engaging time for all of us.
That is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, the QR codes. I'm a little paranoid. I don't have location services on my phone. I don't do the Siri and the other. Because it's always listening. And I understand. I was having this discussion just the other day with a friend of mine. And he said, if something happened where you couldn't dial your phone, or you were in an accident or hiking and felt that you could yell out to your phone to call for help. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Except I don't want my phone always listening.
Mhm.
Oh, that's me. So how long is the exhibit?
It'll be open until next semester's class starts putting their exhibit up. So this will run until about December.
Oh, that's very, very cool. And located at?
Christopher Newport University in the Tribble Library.
Oh, that's one.
It's on the second floor near the CDs. You can't miss it.
You all, I shouldn't ask you this. Then don't, Louis. Don't ask them if you shouldn't ask them. You enjoy your time at Christopher Newport University. I'm trying to think of a better way to ask that. So do you like it? Do you like it? Obviously, obviously all four of you do. It's wonderful. I know a professor there, Professor Salomon. Yeah.
Oh.
Good guy. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. If you're running late for class, maybe I could see if he could give you a pass. But I know you've got class soon. That's absolutely, absolutely wonderful. And I really appreciate you sharing like the hopes and dreams. And I'm blown away by that. Too often, and something I didn't like hearing when I was young, 60 years ago, is the kids these days, 55, 50 years, the kids these days, it's too broad. And I hear it from people my age today, and I'm always politely and nicely saying, not all the kids, there's great kids. And I hope you're not offended when I say kids. Enjoy your youth. Believe me, enjoy, I believe someone said young man to me the other day, and it was like, talk about someone that has poor vision or something, or hallucinating a young guy. But you all are doing such an amazing job when you talk about how focused you are. Because if people don't, sometimes I'm not sure, people don't value things. They don't value museum. Most do, and appreciate it. And you can learn so much. And if not for people preserving these things, I had a guest on the other day, and she had written something about the Sarajevo Haggadah. She's Muslim. She teaches now at Columbia University, and how for, I believe it was 600 years, different people, different individuals from different religions, etc., kept this. One had to hide it from Nazis, and if that hadn't happened, people wouldn't see that particular, the Sarajevo Haggadah for Passover. And I just think that's it is. I don't think, I know it are people like you that are moving forward to do this, to preserve things, because we have to understand. I read something horrific recently that George Orwell's 1984, Penguin is publishing an updated version. How do you do an updated version of a classic, right? And they're changing some of that's fine. You want to do your own version of 1984, but don't put it out as 1984. That we need the original. The original. Am I making any sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And again, it's people like you that are doing that, and will do it into the future, which is wonderful. I'm grateful, honored to have all four of you on this morning, and wish you best luck in making our world a better place as your careers move forward. And good grades also. Wishing you good grades. Thank you.
for having us.
Did I miss anything, ladies? Did I?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for being on with me.
Thank you so much.
Oh, maybe we can catch up if in the fall, and talk about how the response was. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for suffering my madness this morning.
No trouble at all.
Thank you. It's very generous and kind of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back with more on the Louis B. Free Radio Show.